monkeys.
Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back with part 3 of What If Deku had a guardian angel Quirk. And I want to give a quick shout out to my boy Saint. Link in the description below for the music. Also, make sure to check the link in the description for the Discord. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. I just want to get right into the what if. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo. They are ready to fight the one and only symbol of peace, All Might. They go out to a city, well, a sort of city, one that UA has built, and, well, Nezu calls them in, saying that the fight will begin now. Izuku and Bakugo begin planning as they run forward and talk about how they want to approach this fight. And Izuku smiles. I know you want to just fight All Might. Do you think that's a good idea? Damn nerd, I don't care if it's a good idea or not a good idea. I'm gonna fight him how I want to fight him. Yeah, I thought so. I'll help you out a bit. Bakugo is confused, but then remembers back to, well, their training. Remember something that Izuku hasn't really used all that much, if not at all, this whole time. So they close the distance, and here he is, All Might. He's standing in front of them about, well, 100 yards away. All Might then screams, "Detroit Smash!" and a large shockwave of wind comes their direction. Izuku quickly grabs Bakugo, throwing him out of the way as he flies toward him as well. Bakugo says that he'll take the lead, and Izuku nods. A halo appears over Izuku's head, and his wings sprout out once again. They fly at, well, All Might, and Bakugo blasts All Might in the face, in which he tanks easily, but the second blast was stronger. The third is stronger. The fourth is stronger. All Might is confused, but then looks at Izuku. It's as if his halo turned from a yellow color to a blue one. It's as if he's strengthening Bakugo's attacks. All Might realizes this and takes a shot at Izuku, trying to attack him, but that doesn't work. Izuku is fast, and I mean really fast. He's able to dip and dodge out of the way, and, well, using a scarf that he got from Aizawa, he can even propel himself quicker than normal, getting out of dodge. All Might realizes that the longer this fight goes, it seems that the stronger, well, Bakugo will get. So All Might grabs Bakugo's arm and slams him on the ground. But it's as if Bakugo wasn't hurt at all. Well, that's not quite true, at least. He looks up to Izuku, and Izuku's holding his back. Izuku took the pain. What? How is that even possible? He tries to punch Bakugo again, but the next blast was even stronger, and he lands it right on All Might's stomach, not even knowing that that's where his injury is. Izuku quickly grabs All Might with his scarf and kicks him to the ground as they throw a cuff on him. All Might is shocked by this, but tries not to show that he was injured. But Izuku walks over anyways and, well, looks at All Might. Are you hurt, All Might? No, don't worry about me, young Midoriya. I don't mean by our attacks, All Might. I mean, have you been hurt? You look like you have an injury and, well, Kachan landed on it perfectly. Is that correct? All Might scratches the back of his head and gives Izuku a slight nod. Izuku asks if they can, well, basically walk and talk. Izuku explains that he may be able to heal the injury. It depends on how long ago it was, and also how much energy he has to do so. And also how much it is affecting his body. and All Might explains that it's affecting it a lot more than you would even realize. Izuku nods and begins to, well, heal All Might. After healing him, Izuku feels a bit tired and then explains, okay, so it's been a while. I can tell by, well, the scarring and all of that. I was able to heal it to a certain extent, but I can't heal it in one go. So ideally you want to, well, not fight right now, at least until I get my energy back. So I can heal you over a certain period of time, but that's if you don't fight. So it's up to you, All Might. So you're probably feeling a little bit better right now, but I could get you back to 100%. All Might nods and says he'll do his best to not fight and get into any more injuries or, well, stress himself out more. But even Izuku and Bakugo know that this is a lie. All Might is the symbol of peace, and All Might will do anything if there's one scream heard from a civilian. So Izuku doesn't keep his hopes up in terms of healing All Might fully, but at least he was able to help the symbol of peace to a certain extent. So the final exam is over. Once the class groups up once again, Aizawa begins explaining, well, what they will be doing. They will actually be going to a forest for a training camp over the break, and everyone is invited, but the people that obviously failed will be taking, well, remedial courses, and all of them nod and are excited for the next day to come. And when it comes, they all hop on a bus and drive off to a forest. And when they arrive, it's weird. They arrive and stop at a odd mountain where the Wild Pussycats are actually waiting for them. And they begin talking about what they'll be doing, but they then are suspicious because they see the Class 1B bus drive right on by. They look back to see, well, Aizawa smirking. Yeah, the training camp starts now. The mountain begins to bend and move like waves, and they get thrown off the mountain. Eventually, when they all land, they are faced with dozens of monsters, in which they're able to actually beat relatively, well, easily. And most of them are not even injured on the way back, except for the fact that Izuku is really tired out. Izuku, well, took it upon himself to give even extra training and decided to make sure everybody was healed and basically stamina replenished no matter what throughout the entirety of the training. Izuku was probably the only one that treated this like an actual training session. Most of them actually were terrified for their lives, so that also took a lot out of him. But when they arrive, luckily he has a little break where he can just relax, get food, and yeah, all of that. He even sees a younger boy by the name of Kota, and he goes to introduce himself, but that wasn't the best idea when he gets kicked in the nuts. And Kota basically says that he doesn't want to talk to anybody that's some, well, wannabe heroes. And Aizawa kind of rolls his eyes at this, and Bakugo screams at the child for, well, having such an attitude. But then Izuku kind of laughs and says that he reminds him exactly of Kachan, and Bakugo slaps him on the head. So that day goes pretty normal. They wash up, eat, rest, all that good stuff, and eventually the next day comes where the true training begins, and Izuku has an idea of what his training is going to be, and he already knows that he's going to be absolutely exhausted. So Aizawa explains to everybody exactly what he wants them to do, because they never have actually done real quirk training, and that's what he wants them to do. Real quirk training. Stretch their limits and try to develop their quirks faster than anybody else. Of course, naturally, as you grow as an adult, your quirks do develop, but they want to speed up that process. So that's exactly what Aizawa is getting everybody to do. And then he gets to Izuku. He explains that for the first about 25% of training, he'll be fighting with his scarf, well, his battle scarf, against Tiger, because they do need to work on his, well, hand-to-hand combat the most he possibly could. Izuku nods and asks what the other 75% is. kid, you know what the other 75% is. Healing everybody. Yes. Okay. Alright. I'll see you later, Aizawa. Izuku walks away and just knows that he's going to be completely out of it by the time this is all over. So he begins fighting Tiger, and obviously he has some speed advantage. Izuku is very quick with his wings and be able to fly, but his hand-to-hand combat is lacking. He has some experience with Aizawa, but not as much as he should. But over this time, he actually does gain a good bit of experience with his hand-to-hand combat, actually using his scarf a lot better now. And, well, once their training is over, Tiger tells him to, well, get to work. So he begins to go around and heal anybody that, well, needs it. This helps his quirk and also helps their quirks, especially because they can train even harder now that Izuku is there to replenish their stamina and also heal them from any minor injuries. And by the end of this other 75%, Izuku is completely collapsed on the ground. Bakugo picks him up and drags him off and tells him to stop being such a wimp and that they're going to get food. He throws Izuku on the bench and says that he'll make him food, but just this one time, and not to get any ideas of thinking he'll do it any other time. Oh, you're so nice, Kachan. I appreciate it. Izuku is practically half asleep at this point. So they have some rest time in between, luckily, so Izuku is able to replenish some of his stamina and also eat food and stuff like that. But he's not going to participate in this whole act of courage thing. He doesn't really want to be a part of it, and frankly, he kind of still needs more rest time. So when that begins, he's still with everyone else, and he decides to actually bring Kota some food since, I mean, he's not participating. He asks Aizawa if this is fine, and of course Aizawa says that it's fine to be quick, to fly over there and then fly back, so that, well, he can watch, well, his classmates participate in this. Will do. Izuku grabs a plate of food and flies up to the mountain he saw Kota at. He gives Kota some food and they sit down and he begins talking to him, asking about why he, well, doesn't like heroes. Why would I like heroes? They're horrible. Just all of you are some fake heroes. It doesn't matter. Izuku already knows why. He wanted to see if Kota would tell him, and he brings it up. I heard, Kota. I know. Your parents were tragically, well, put to rest by a murderous villain. Trust me, I can feel the pain of that. He says, how is that possible? That he knows that he's some healing magician, right? He's heard about it. Kota, that's true. Maybe I'm some healing magician. But my mother almost died right in front of me when I was actually younger than you. So trust me, I know the feeling. If it wasn't for my quirk and it just abruptly coming out, she would have died right in front of me. Kota is shocked by this. He didn't know about that. He just knew that he was some guardian angel like Quirk, and he despised it. He despised the idea of someone that could heal or revive the dead. His mom, his dad, they're dead forever. Izuku sighs and puts his head down. I'm sorry. If I could, I'd bring them back. I really would. And maybe one day I could do something of that stature. But I've never been able to bring back the dead. I don't think I'm even that powerful. I had to work very hard, Kota. Very hard to get to the place I'm in right now. And, well, I'm still not the traditional hero. And I hope you realize that. Kota is actually shocked at how genuine Izuku's gonna be. Or is being. This quirk, I feel like, makes him feel more comfortable to be around. Everybody actually enjoys being around Izuku now. It's as if when his quirk started developing more and more, it was like this feel of being around a guardian angel made everyone feel comfortable, maybe at ease in the mind, but it only worked when you were around him enough. And well, that comfortability would go away though, especially for Kota when he hears a voice come from the forest, and the forest lights ablaze. No, no, no. Don't make any sudden movements. Who are you? Me? It's pretty simple, kid. You can call me Muscular. I'm actually looking for somebody. And frankly, the picture that I have here looks exactly like you. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. How about it, kid? Izuku looks to Kota and then looks to the giant man. Muscular is standing in front of him. Izuku isn't built for a fight like this. This is something that he wasn't ready for. But he knows what to do. Fly. He grabs Kota and flies straight up. Muscular calls out and says that he will kill them both, but Izuku flies off at insane speeds. Kota questions what they're doing, and Izuku kind of smirks and smiles at him. Kid, I'm practically a support hero. He's brute strength. Not the best matchup. I know when to pick my fights. Izuku drops him off and says to stay there. Aizawa tells him where the hell does he think he's going. Aizawa, there's someone out there by the name of Muscular. He's gonna walk into the forest and find our, well, classmates and hurt them bad. I couldn't beat him. There's no way. That's why I left and took Kota, saving him. I want to go back in and I want to save the rest of our classmates. Aizawa shakes his head and says that that's too risky. That what if he gets caught? Then it's a wrap. It's over. Izuku sighs. He says that he knows. But if he gets caught, then they'll leave, right? So, in his opinion, it's a win-win. Aizawa says that they don't do a life for a life or a capture for a capture, kid. That it doesn't work like that. Izuku basically shakes his head and says that he's sorry. He blasts off, more or less, with his wings and begins scouring the area, trying to find anyone he can. He finds multiple of his friends and classmates and picks them up and brings them to safety. Well, I guess if you want to call it safety, back at the camp. But he's not able to find everybody, and eventually he is captured. Someone hits him with some sort of marble and captures him and takes him away. As he is dragged away, Bakugo sees this and tries to charge and help his friend, but he's too late. He's just fingertips away from Izuku and he gets captured. Bakugo is pissed. The forest quiets down and everyone begins to scatter. And Aizawa comes out of nowhere and asks where Midoriya is. And Bakugo just shakes his head. They got him. So, then we go to the League of Villains base. Izuku is sitting in a chair and he's tied up. You know, I don't really have physical abilities to fight, so don't really know why you tied me up. Shigaraki walks in and says that they're here and he's here for a reason. We need you, kid. I want you to do something for me. I heard, or well, a little birdie told me that All Might's working at a higher capacity now. He's for some reason stronger. Now, it seems like it was a miracle. Or maybe he has his personal guardian angel. But I need you to do that for me. For you? You don't look hurt. Why would I do that for you? Well, not exactly for me. For my master. All for One walks into the room and introduces himself. Hello, Izuku Midoriya. I'm sure you know who I am. One and only, All for One. Izuku scoffs. Now why would I heal you? Plus, I couldn't even heal you fully. I can literally see through you how many injuries you have. There's no chance I'll be able to heal you fully. And you expect me to do that? Yes, actually. That's exactly what I expect you to do. Or else. Izuku is not afraid. He sits there and stares at as Shigaraki walks up to him, and he just smirks. "You're gonna torture me. I'm 15 years old and I'm gonna get tortured. Now this is not what was on my bucket list. I will be honest." Shigaraki says that this is no joking manner. He grabs Izuku's hand and it begins to decay, and Izuku screams as it disintegrates. Izuku does no longer have a left hand. Now that fucking hurts. "Oh, the pretty guardian angel can curse. Now that is something else. Should I try the other hand as well?" Izuku just smirks and just grits his teeth. "You're gonna have to be quicker than that." "What the hell are you talking about?" A knock is then heard at the door. Izuku was able to sense these people. He's actually worked on one of them, so he can basically know where this person is at all times. He is kind of connected after he heals somebody. "Who the hell? Did you guys order something?" The door gets busted open and All Might comes through the wall. He immediately punches All For One, and another low tier hero though grabs Izuku and drags him out. Okay, I'll be honest, might need a hospital ironically enough. The low tier hero kinda smiles and says that Izuku did good at not feeding into whatever they wanted him to do. "Yeah, I had no intention of doing that anyways. You would have to literally put a halo on my head." "Wait, that's a good question. Am I dead?" The low tier hero then smiles and says that he's not dead, to trust him. So they run off and Izuku is brought to a nearby hospital. As well, the fight begins to break out. A screen on in his hospital room begins to show the news. Begins to show All Might fighting All For One. And someone comes in and turns it off, but Izuku says to leave it on. The doctor says that he was just there, it's not good for his mental health, but Izuku says that he wants to see All Might win. That's all he wants to see now. So he turns it back on. And as All Might uses his last United States of Smash, he knocks All For One out cold. And he points at the camera, not actually in his skinny form, still in his buff form, and says that you are next. Izuku smiles and looks at his hand, realizing that this journey of his just became a lot more difficult. And that is a wrap for part 3 of What If Deku Had a Guardian Angel Quirk. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, sub, all that good stuff, and make sure to comment down below any suggestions you have for future what ifs. And I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.